Hey everyone, Mini Brick Productions here, and earlier this week I asked you guys what themes were your favorite from the themes that I've done on the channel, like Minecraft, Fortnite, Gravity Falls, things like that. And you guys overwhelmingly said that you wanted to see more Among Us content on this channel, so today's video is going to be just that. In this video, I'm going to be following up on my Skeld Map video where I showcased 3 different rooms from the Skeld Map of Among Us: the cafeteria, electrical, and admin. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can check it out through the card in the upper right or in the description below. And in that video, I showcased all these different builds as well as had you guess or look for the imposter in the set. So in this video, I'm going to be doing just that and showcasing different rooms. This time we're going to be taking a look at navigation, security, and oxygen. Before we begin, just a reminder that only 3% of you guys watching are subscribed to the channel, so if you're in the 97% category, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell for more LEGO mock videos. It's free to subscribe and you can always change your mind later. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. With all that aside, let's take a look at the Skeld Map Part 2. The first of 3 builds we're going to be taking a look at is the navigation room. Navigation is almost always the place where I get killed by imposters because it's like at the very end of the Skeld Map and it's got 2 vents, so going in there is kind of a recipe for disaster. Either way, I'm happy with the way this build turned out because it was actually really interesting to build such a small room with 3 closed walls. Because I did this with the cafeteria in the last video, but that build was so much bigger. So here when it's a lot smaller, it just feels, it just feels more cramped. But I think this actually really captures the feel of navigation in the game, because in the game it also feels like a cramped room where you can be like ambushed at any time. So I really liked that, and that whole aspect of making a small build with 3 separate walls to make it feel cramped, and it really feels like the game version. And just like in the game, you've got your tasks in navigation as well. So you've got the data download task on the very left, and right beside it you've got the accept diverted power to navigation task. And in the front, of course, you've got your 3 computers with the navigation tasks as well. So that pretty much wraps up navigation. And here's navigation filled with crewmates doing tasks. If you saw my Among Us CMF Series 2, you'll probably remember that I said the pilot would be perfect for navigation, so I knew I had to put him in here. It looks like he's just completed setting the course for the ship, and on the very left we've also got purple, busy accepting diverted power. Now, do you guys think any of these crewmates is the imposter? Let me know in the comments below, and also keep an eye out for the other rooms to see if there are any other clues to figure out who the imposter is in this set. Up next, we have security. While it's definitely not the most interesting room in terms of design and layout, it's definitely a very important room in terms of gameplay. Here, crewmates can check in on others throughout the map to look for any suspicious activity, and it kind of reminds me of the Sunnyside Daycare security room from Toy Story 3, with the monkey checking out the cams and making sure Buzz isn't doing anything crazy. So yeah, with that said, there's been embarrassingly too many times where I get caught by cams killing other crewmates. The worst part is when you think you're getting the perfect kill with no witnesses around and you're gonna totally get away with it, and then the next second you realize that you did it right in front of a security camera, and you really can't defend yourself from that, and I've done that way too many times. But aside from that, security cams, there's also a table in the room with a clipboard and some papers on it. And I built this desk using a snot technique by building outwards from the wall, and I think it really captured the shape of the in-game desk nicely. And here's security filled with crewmates. It looks like we've got Red checking out the cams and making sure his fellow crewmates are safe. Maybe there can be something suspicious in the footage. Make sure to pause and take a look to see if anything is out of place or if you notice something suspicious. Besides red, we've got pink in the room as well, just minding their business as it seems that they've finished their tasks. However, pink could be sus and we might be on the lookout for her next victim, so maybe she's the imposter. You gotta keep an eye out for any clues in the other builds or in this one, so let me know in the comments below if you figure it out. And finally, we've got O2. This room is the greenhouse of the Skeld, with plants and oxygen filters to provide clean air for all the crewmates to breathe and enjoy. O2 was actually a pretty interesting build because I used some turntables for the walls for the lighting in the room, and I also made sure to incorporate the oxygen filter on the wall using snot techniques. While the colors of the room are a little off than what they should be in the game, I did this because I'm using official LEGO colors and there aren't exact matches for the colors in-game. However, I do think with the different shades of green, it does provide that contrast and it looks, relatively close enough to the game version, so, I think it turned out fine. And of course, here is O2 filled with crewmates. It looks like we've got a crewmate doing some trash dumping, and then another one checking out the plants. Maybe Black is done with their tasks, but maybe not, so we don't know. Could he be the imposter? Make sure to keep an eye out for any clues. And now we're heading back to navigation because it looks like there's been a murder. The pilot is dead. So it seems like Lime is the person to report the body, but do you think Lime could be the imposter and have self-reported? You just gotta look around and see if there's anything suspicious in either this room or the others to find out who it was. So make sure to let me know who you think it is in the comments below if you find out. And if you're stuck, of course, check every single room. There could be clues all over the build. And with the reported body comes the emergency meeting, of course, where all the crewmates, except for Blue, rest in pieces, are gathered around the table in the hopes of finding the imposter. Try to read chat, maybe it's a hint, maybe it isn't. Sometimes it can be a little tricky in-game to find out who the imposter is, so I guess you'll just have to stick to looking for clues. So, final reminder, one of these guys is an imposter. So you got to figure it out by looking at all the builds in this set to determine who that imposter could be. And that concludes my second LEGO Among Us the Skeld Map set. And by the way, before I forget, I am going to spoil who the imposter was for my last Skeld Map video. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out through the link in the description below or through the card in the upper right. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So, as most of you guys found out correctly, the imposter was actually Yellow. So Yellow was the only person that was not seen doing any tasks, and if you analyze the crime scene closely, you would have found that his plunger stick was sticking out of the vents. So good job to everyone that found out who the imposter was. All that aside, let me know which of the 3 Skeld rooms in this video was your favorite, and of course, don't forget to figure out who the imposter was, and let me know in the comments below. Either way, I'm super happy with how these builds all turned out, because making Among Us rooms is actually, lots of fun because they're all really different from each other. So each time it's building something completely new and with a different shape. So all the rooms are like different shapes, you've got a different base for each one, it's just totally different every single time. And I was actually planning to do a Fortnite mock for this week's video, but I decided to delay it because I really want to make sure it is perfect before I show it to you all. And as you guys know, if you've watched lots of videos on my channel, especially the more recent ones, I've been playing around with different skills and techniques in my previous videos in the hopes of making better sets for you guys to enjoy watching. For instance, I started working with making new molds in my latest Fortnite video with Remedy's hairpiece, and I got better at it with the new pieces I introduced in my LEGO Minecraft Warden Cave set. So since then, I've been working hard to better those skills and improve upon them in order to make better sets and better minifigures and better pieces and whatnot. So, but I hope you guys realize that, it does take a lot of time not only to, actually make the sets, but also to learn the skills in order to advance, these techniques that I'm learning. So, yeah, I hope you guys understand. I know you guys understand, thank you for understanding that it like takes some time. So that is why I'm only sticking to one video a week, because of course I've got school and other things as well. But with that being said, hopefully I can get that video out next week, but if not next week, it'll be the week after. But in the meantime, if I do delay it until the week after, there will be another video, of course, next week. So keep an eye out for that. And with all that aside, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.